Hi, my name is Mythili Prakash. I'm very, very excited to present a new work, JWALA, Rising Flame, for SIFAS in Singapore. I'll be joined by my collaborator, brother, musician and vocalist Aditya Prakash, who has created the entire musical score for this production, and a group of wonderful musicians, Sushma Soma on vocals, V. Vedakrishnan on mridangam, Ishwar Ramakrishnan on violin, Jay Sri Ramanathan on Natavangam, and Venkatesh Krishnan on lighting. We're very excited to perform for you and look forward to seeing you all there. Thank you.
Let's thinkaloud.com. You're tuned in to me, Himani, and we are talking to Mythili Prakash, dynamic young artist. She's making waves in the field of Bharatnatyam in India. Bharatnatyam very close to my heart because I was trained in Bharatnatyam once upon a time while I was young. Well, as a child prodigy, Mythili began her career as a Bharatnatyam performer, you won't believe it, at the age of 8. Yes, the tender age of 8. Since 1990, Mythili has performed as a soloist for some of the most respected institutions of dance in India. She's born and bred in the US, but she's now in India pursuing her career, her life, her passion, Bharatnatyam. Hi, Mythili.
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you doing?
Good, thank you.
Fantastic. Now, you have been featured on NBC Superstars of Dance as a Bharatnatyam soloist, or you have toured solo productions in the United Kingdom, Scotland, France, Singapore, United States, Mexico, basically everywhere. Singapore's your next stop, which we're eagerly looking forward to. Tell us a bit about your childhood influencers, Mythili, when it came to Bharatnatyam.
Definitely my biggest influence was my mom. She is a dancer, a dance teacher, and she was performing actively when she was pregnant with me. And after she had me, she went on tour when I was like 8 months old or something like that.
Wow.
So I grew up in an environment full of dance. We'd always have visiting musicians from India. She had started a dance school a few years before I was born. So my environment was very much charged with dance music constantly. And I mean, I loved it. Like I learned so much just watching. Before I even officially, she usually doesn't take students until they're 4 or 5 years old, actually.
Okay.
But I had learned so much just from watching, because that's what, I'd sit in class with her all day. And so I think I learned my first dance when I was 3, and I showed it to her, and I said, I really want to join classes early. Yeah. So I started around 4. But it was just like, I was crazy about it. I think a lot of it was, my mom is just incredibly passionate, and anybody that knows her knows that, like, says that she breathes dance. And so it was just, that was, my environment was very rich with that music, both Carnatic and Hindustani music. And she would do a lot of collaborations with other dancers. So I was exposed to other styles of Indian classical dance as well. Yeah, and then I did my Arangetram at 8, and after that started performing, and I'd perform with my mom, I'd perform with the company, I'd perform solo. So a lot of traveling and performing starting pretty early.
Fantastic. In fact, what I was also thinking is, a lot of us, we tell our kids to really pursue their passion and do what they really feel like doing. And you started it very young. How did you manage your academics with your dancing career?
I actually took academics really seriously. I think it's just like the people you're around, or actually, I don't know. For some reason, I took school very seriously too. And I think high school was actually the time that I found it the hardest to balance performances, practice, and my school. And I actually, even though, dancing has been such a big part of my life without even thinking twice about it, when I graduated from college, I thought I would go into a more conventional career. I was considering either advertisement or journalism, and I wasn't thinking of doing dance full time. And my parents really were the ones that said, we know you, and we know that you won't be happy unless you are dancing.
Yeah.
And so I went to India for 5 months, just, post-graduation, and just spent my time completely, immersed in dance. And that's when I sort of realized that it would not be, to the extent that I wanted to pursue dance, it would not be possible for me to have another career simultaneously. So it was at that point that I decided, like, this is what I'm going to do full time. But before that, being in school it was really hard to balance academics and dance if you were trying to do both really seriously.
Fantastic. Yeah, for achieving that. Tell us about your performance in Singapore. SIFAS begins soon on March 23rd. And of course, we're looking forward to your classical solo in Singapore. Tell us about it.
I have performed in Singapore before, and every time it's been like a very, very nice experience. I've performed 2 of my solo productions there.
Okay.
The first was Strikatha, which was about women from the Ramayana. The second was Chandalika, which was an adaptation of Rabindranath Tagore's drama Chandalika.
Okay.
And this piece is called JWALA, the Rising Flame.
Okay.
Sorry, JWALA, Rising Flame. And it's about the whole thing is based on this line in Sanskrit which says Jwala Vyapnoti Akasham, which means the rising light fills space. And so this production explores this idea of this rising light or this flame with different resonances.
Okay.
So we start with the cosmic, which is the sun, and then we move to the temporal, which is the idea of that fire, the flame. And in this piece is actually very personal to me because it was created at a time when I had just had my first baby and I had lost my father the previous year. And just the symbol of the flame really connected this experience of death and this experience of birth for me, because the flame is that which destroys, right? It reduces everything to ash. But it's also this thing that's so full of light that illuminates. So this idea of the flame symbolizing goodbyes, of flame symbolizing destruction, of release, and then also the flame being a symbol of hope, of new beginnings, of illumination, of celebration. And that duality was something that really intrigued me and sort of gave rise to this piece. And so that's sort of the centerpiece of the production. And then the whole production ends with the idea of the inner flame. We've taken a Sufi poem, and it speaks of seeking that flame of existence that is constantly burning from within,
right?
And kind of moving towards that. And in between, there's two other pieces that describe the flame as the creative energy or the creative quality, epitomized as the dancing goddess, and another piece which is a popular bhajan, and it's a Mirabai bhajan, and it talks about hope and faith in times of darkness. And it's Hari Tumharo Janaki Peer. It's like a really popular Hindi bhajan. It really spoke to me at a time now where I just feel like all around the world we're hearing about and we're experiencing so much oppression, violence, cruelty, and really darkness, complete ignorance, and we're constantly searching for that hope and that, the light in the darkness. And so for me, that piece kind of took on another meaning or another resonance. That's what Jwala Rising Flame is about, this idea.
Lovely. Is there anything, Mythili, that you want to say to the audiences in Singapore who really absolutely love SIFAS and the lineup of programs that they bring every year? But anything that you want to say to people who you think should really support the arts?
I think that what's really special about SIFAS and about organizations like them is that they support solo dance, because now it's like, obviously group work is becoming more popular because our times are moving faster, everything is available so quickly and attention spans are shorter and all of this stuff. But I think that there's something so beautiful about solo work. And when I say solo, I mean solo dance, because obviously the production has live music, so I'm not the only person performing. But I do both solo and group work, and there's something really special about solo because just kind of like the experience that the artist goes through, and everything that they have to pull out of themselves, and also the imagination that the audience, the amount of investment that the audience has to put into what they're seeing. It's like, they don't see all the characters on stage. They have to imagine all of that,
right,
with what the solo dancer is given them. And it's really something that's so nuanced, that's so unique, and that has so much depth and substance. And it's an art that I feel like is slowly getting lost because everybody wants more group work. And so I think I'm really grateful to SIFAS for bringing this production, and to art lovers who support this kind of work, because it's not like fast food where you just watch and it's entertainment. It's something that you have to invest your energy in when you watch it. And I think that's what art is. And I want to make work like that, and I want to see work like that. And I hope people want to present work like that. Thank you, and I hope everyone feels this way.